It's top of the hour and it's time for Making a Difference. I'm your host, CJ Metcalfe. On this program, we explore people in our community and the difference that they're making in others' lives. Today, we are at Octagon Wildlife Sanctuary, where we will explore the insides and see the animals and see what they do here. So we look forward to the tour. Stay tuned. I'd like for you to meet Miss Jackie Krohn. She is a board member and director of marketing for Octagon Wildlife Sanctuary. Jackie, welcome to the show.
Good morning, CJ. Thanks so much for being here and having us today. It means a lot.
Tell me about the precautionary measures that you have given to the staff about entering the sanctuary.
Well, since COVID hit, we've been closed since last March. So once COVID hit, all of our volunteers have been instructed and required. You don't even come into that gate without a mask on. We try and stay within 6 feet of our animals now. Even our feeders, our cleaners, no one is allowed to touch the animals. We just stay away and try and do our best to keep our animals safe and our volunteers as well.
Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, that's crucial. I mean, even in this time when people are getting a little bit laxed, the animals are very susceptible, and our staff and crew want to respect what you all have put in place for the health and safety of the animals. All right, well, let's get going.
All right, so this is Cinnamon. Cinnamon is a European brown bear. She's one of our oldest bears in the sanctuary now. She's probably around 53, 54. Cinnamon was a dancing bear in the Moscow circus. When they closed down that circus in Georgia, they had to find a place for her. So we gladly took her in, and she loves her pool. As you will see, our animals are very interactive with the volunteers. They're interactive with our visitors when we have them. And once in a while, on her very own, we never make our animals do anything, but once in a while, she will start her dancing routine. If there's a bunch of kids, especially, or a large group in front of her enclosure, she will just go into her dancing routine. So here we have Sneakers. Sneakers is one of 3 full-grown Bengal tigers that were confiscated with Fish and Wildlife from a backyard in Port Charlotte. They had 3 full-grown tigers in like a dog kennel with just normal gauge wire. And apparently the neighbors were hearing some strange noises coming out of that yard. So they called the authorities, and they didn't have the correct licensing, and obviously it's really not safe to have 3 critters like that in your backyard. So she's been here for quite a while. I'd say probably going on 15 years maybe.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This is home.
This is home. Yeah.
Roughly how old do you think she is?
She's probably in her teens, maybe upper teens.
So she's been here most of her adult life?
Pretty much. So what you see Sneakers doing right now is she's actually getting fresh cold water out of her liquor. All of our animals that are able to do it, they learn very quickly, and they have fresh water 24/7, and they know how to use those liquors. So that's exactly how they get their water. We do have other animals that may not use it. They've just never learned, or they refuse to use it. Or if we have to put mineral oil or medication or something like that, Pedialyte, into their water dishes, and then we will have separate water dishes. But every single enclosure has these auto liquors. This is Elsie. Elsie is a bobcat. So if you see one of these in the wild, yep, that's what you're seeing. She's one of the 2 bobcats that we have at our sanctuary. And again, once they come to the sanctuary, they never leave. We don't breed them, we don't buy them, and we don't sell them. So she'll be a resident here to live out her life. And Twilight is her next door neighbor, but it looks like she's sleeping right now, because they both got fed this morning. So, but Elsie's a cute little thing. And we do go in with them. However, we don't encourage play. Well, we play with them a little bit just for enrichment. She's got some toys sitting here on her chair. But that's about the extent of it, because they do get a little nippy, because they are wild animals. So that's our Elsie. This is Achilles and Aphrodite. They're called ligers, where dad's a lion, mom's a tiger. No, it does not happen in the wild, because those 2 would never cross paths. So this is a man-generated breed. Ligers can grow up to 800-900 pounds at times. These 2 are brother and sister. Oh, are you so tired? Ligers never stop growing. That is one of the most interesting facts about them, in my opinion. So as you can see, he towers over his sister, but they get along well. And these guys were brought to us as cubs. They came from an overcrowded facility, and they were downsizing. So they needed a place to stay, and we were very, very fortunate to add them to our Octagon family. This is Squiggy. Squiggy is a grizzly bear. And Squiggy, along with Laverne and Shirley, were brought to us because they were rescued. They used to do commercials, and when they wouldn't perform, they beat them with pipes. One of Squiggy's favorite places to be is right here in his pool. But it's kind of fun when all 3 of them are in there. Well, good morning, Squiggy. Well, good morning. You're not going to splash me, are you? Everybody that likes the pool, that likes water, actually has a pool. So if you see some lions that don't have a pool, it's basically because they don't like water. What, are you washing your face? Oh, here he comes. I gotta move. I've gotten soaked many times. We'll take a walk down and see Laverne and Shirley. They share this huge enclosure, so they have lots of things to do, lots of places to go, and they all get along quite well. But this is Laverne and Shirley. These guys are European brown bears. And they love to play with each other and fight. They're pretty gentle with each other until one of them gets riled up. Then it can get a little testy, but pretty much they're very, very friendly, and they just have fun. They'll do this for hours. This is one of our many male peacocks. He's showing off for one of the ladies. It's just beautiful. His plumes are amazing. Also in this enclosure, we have several African land tortoises, pigeons that used to be like homing pigeons that no one cared for anymore. So we have some pigeons in here and a couple of macaws, 3 to be exact. Yeah, a lot of people think that, you know, buying a tortoise when it's little is a great idea. And then these guys get to be 300-400 pounds, and they live to be 120, you know, over 100 years old. So all of a sudden it's not real manageable. And they bring them to places like us. But they're a great addition to our sanctuary. We love them. They're fun to watch eat because they love to take a corn on the cob and they eat it almost like a person does. They start at one end of it and just work their way down. So it's kind of fun to watch. Here we have Tango, KC, and Ruru. These are all macaws. We've got 2 blue and golds and a scarlet. And again, having a bird like this is a big responsibility because they live to be 80 and 90 years old. They're fun to have around. They're fun to teach to talk, but it's almost a lifetime commitment when you own one of these guys. And there are people that own them and then they get sick, they pass away, they move, and they come to places like ours. So feeding at Octagon is done by only a few people, and they're very, very fully trained. You can see that we have PVC pipes. We don't ever hand any of the food to any of the animals. We do lock them out so that there's no fighting over food, because there are some animals that could be food aggressive. Not many of ours are, but just to avoid any confrontation. So this is Phoenix. She's being fed down here, and her sister Snow is being fed on the other side. You can see how much meat they have, and again, it's determined by what their weight is. It's determined by what kind of meat they can tolerate, whether they can tolerate the bones. You can kind of hear them munching. But bones are necessary for their development and for their digestion. So you can kind of see how much food she has down there. So that's how we feed our big cats.
This is a massive facility. There's a lot here to take care of, and I just can't imagine how, or I should say, what are your monthly costs run to operate this facility?
Monthly costs can range anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 a month. Last year we went through 93,000 pounds of meat. And again, we've been fortunate enough to have enough meat throughout this year, but when we have to buy meat, and that has happened in the past, and I'm sure at some point it's going to happen in the future, our operating costs can go up substantially.
I know you're closed now, but due to the COVID and the safety for the animals, do you expect to reopen anytime soon?
Well, we're actually waiting for the okay from our governing agencies. As you can see, as we walked around the sanctuary, and for our listeners, a lot of our safety fences were only 5 feet away from the animals. CDC guidelines dictates they must be 6 feet. Some of our aisleways are not even 5 feet across. So it's been quite a challenge. Now, we have made some adjustments to some of the safety fences, but again, there are places where we just can't. And for that reason alone, for the safety of our animals, which a lot of people are not aware, but exotic cats, canines, primates are very susceptible to COVID. In fact, there are some zoos that are already starting to vaccinate their primates against COVID. So for that reason alone, we've been very hesitant to open as before, because we just want to make sure that our animals are safe, our volunteers are safe, as well as our visitors.
Well, under normal operating conditions, let's say after we're getting upstaged here.
Yes.
Under normal operating conditions, do you offer like private tours for groups like Boy Scouts, special groups, touring groups that may come in?
We do. We do. We try to accommodate folks like that. Again, right now, yeah, we're not letting any of the public in at this point. But we do work with folks with different groups. When we are open, our veterans get in for free, disabled get in for free, and we keep it very reasonable so that our visitors can come in, enjoy our animals, learn about what we do here, and we really love to see families coming in and that type of thing, but we do work with groups, yes.
So you obviously are able to offer a visual to the handicapped.
Yes.
Can they bring scooters and things like that in here?
Absolutely. Strollers, wheelchairs, scooters, anything like that will help someone get around our sanctuary. And we're pretty good as far as our grounds. We're level. Our aisles are wide enough, for folks to get through in a wheelchair or a scooter. Yes.
What is the strangest animal you have on the property?
Right now?
Sure.
Ooh, him.
Okay, we have a strange animal on the property.
Sorry. Right now, let's see. Well, we have a kinkajou, which is not something you see very often. As a matter of fact, you only see her at night. She's from the rainforest. We have civets. We have African civets. I don't think you'd be able to see them. Well, we have one sitting up there. Civets are very strange looking, but fun fact, an African civet, they use their excretions, I should maybe say, as a perfume base, if you can imagine that. And there's another type of civet, it's the Asian civet, and from what I understand, they eat coffee beans. They don't digest them, but when they extract them in their waste, there are actually people that go over and collect them, do whatever they do to them, and I guess they make the best coffee ever.
Okay. I'll stay with my Starbucks. Now, can people adopt any of the animals here, or take them home, fostering them or anything like that?
Absolutely not. I call us the wildest retirement center in Punta Gorda. And the reason I say that is, once these animals come to us, they never leave. They're not adoptable in many, many cases. Like, we talked about, these animals have been mistreated, or they've been in dire situations before, and our mission is to let them live out their life.
How can people, if they want to donate money to you to help with these animals and the care of them, how do they go about doing that?
Really easy. They can pop a check in the mail to our address. They can donate on our website, which is www.octagonwildlife.org. There's a donate button there. They can donate on our Facebook page. There's a donate button on our main page. They can donate tools, wheelbarrows, rakes, shovels, exotic bird seed. They there's just a myriad. They can have fundraisers if they wish. We have a lot of people that will do a Facebook fundraiser for their birthday, and we are able to collect funds that way. Being a 501c3, we don't get any government help whatsoever. We don't get any federal, state, or local funding. We're all on our own, and we're all donations.
What if somebody wanted to volunteer here, become one of the volunteers? What is expected of them as far as a commitment goes?
Well, we have so many different jobs available here at Octagon, and it depends on your level of commitment, if you will. And a lot of our jobs are specific to cleaning, to feeding, that we do invest a lot of time in training. So we would ask that if you're interested in doing a cleaning job or a feeding job, that you commit to at least 1 day a week. We've also got different areas as far as raking and planting and cleaning up the grounds and pulling weeds and those types of things. You know, you can kind of be a little more lax about your schedule in those types of jobs because, you know, you do it as you can. But when it comes down to cleaning and feeding, at least 1 day a week. And the cleaners and feeders have to be 18 years of age. Okay, so now that we're not near the animals anymore, we're out in the parking lot, I can take off my mask. And you've been asking a few questions offline, so I'll just start with how long I've been here. I started volunteering at Octagon in 2016, and I started as a feeder. Did a lot of long yard work, raking, and so forth. That's pretty much what we do when we start out a volunteer. But I was willing to do anything that needed to be done. So like I said, started out with feeding the animals. There's a lot of training that goes into that. Feeding, cleaning enclosures. We train extensively on those types of things because you're right there with the animal, and it's most important that we don't cross-contaminate food. I'd like to thank CJ and the radio station for this opportunity, and I hope you've enjoyed a little bit of paradise at our sanctuary at Octagon.